Good evening. This is the second half of the Tuesday video or the Monday video on two-step equations. You should have this assignment in your Canvas that you can pull up. I am going to do a couple of these as review, and you are required to complete these so you are prepared for class on Tuesday. I'm going to go ahead and blow up this assignment so we can see this a little bit clearer. And we're going to start with number 1. Number 1 here says 6 plus 3a is equal to negative 21. So remember from our notes, we learned that we have two steps to solve the equations. We have to move the constant, then move the coefficient. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is identify my constant, which is 6, and now I need to move it. Well, it's 6, it's positive, which means I'm adding it, so I need to subtract 6 from both sides. Okay? So that will give me 3a is equal to, and when we subtract, we are adding the opposite. So I can go ahead and change this to adding a negative 6. Okay? So negative 21 plus negative 6 gives me negative 27. All right? So I completed my first step. So my next step then would be to move the coefficient being 3. So I know this is 3 times a, so the inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to go ahead and divide that and get a is equal to negative 27 divided by 3. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. 27 divided by 3 is 9. And that is simply how it's done. Now I can also check my work to make sure that I got it right. And I highly encourage you to do so. So you can substitute a for negative 9 and try your luck. So 3 times negative 9 is negative 27, and 6 minus 27 gives me negative 21. So I know I got my answer correct. Okay, the next one I will go to is going to be number 10. Number 10 says x divided by 3 minus 10 equals negative 17. So again, two steps, move the constant, move the coefficient. Let's identify our constant. Our constant is right there. So what are we doing? We're subtracting 10. So what is the inverse of subtraction? It's addition. So I add 10 to both sides. I'm left with x divided by 3 is equal to negative 17 plus 10 gives me negative 7. Okay? Now I have to move my coefficient. Well, in this scenario, 3 is still my coefficient. So I have to move it. Well, what operation do we have going on here? We have x divided by 3. Well, the inverse of division is multiplication. And we also know that we multiply by the reciprocal. Well, the reciprocal of 1, so this is 1/3 is 3 over 1, which we would multiply by 3 over 1. So these two cancel each other out. So I'm left with x is equal to negative 7 times 3. A negative times a positive is a negative, negative 21. And again, I can check my work. Substitute negative 21 for x. Negative 21 divided by 3 is negative 7. I'll write that over here. Negative 7 minus 10. Well, so add the opposite. Negative 17 is equal to negative 17. So I know my answer is correct. Okay. And the last one that I'm going to show you is I will show you number 5. Okay, number 5 looks a little bit different, but it's nothing to be fearful of. Okay, number 5 says negative 6 plus v divided by 2 is equal to 2. Okay, still we have two steps. Move the constant, move the coefficient. Okay, some of you may have seen this a little bit differently, but I think the easiest way to do this is just what we're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this constant, because it's multiplication or division. And we know through PEMDAS, that's what we do first. So we're going to undo it. So 2 So it's being divided, so I would multiply by 2 to get rid of it. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. And I'm going to be left with negative 6 plus v is equal to 4. Now I have another constant I have to move because I don't have a coefficient. So now I'm going to move this negative 6 now. And that negative 6, I'm going to add it. So that's going to give me v is equal to 10. We can see if I got this right by simply substituting. Negative 6 plus 10 divided by 2. Negative 6 plus 10 gives me 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 is the same as 2, so I did get it right. I hope this video has helped you with two-step equations. The expectation is you will complete 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and be prepared for tomorrow's class. Have a good evening.